There's just so much information out there these days. It can feel like a real challenge just figuring out what actually matters.
It really can. Information overload is real.
Exactly. So that's where we come in. Welcome to the deep dive. Think of us as your shortcut to getting, well, properly informed. Today, we're really diving headfirst into the real estate market. We've got a Redfin report looking specifically at Las Vegas home prices.
And some May stats from Las Vegas realtors, too.
Right, and we're going to unpack that and then sort of connect the dots to the bigger national picture.
Yeah. And our mission, really, for this deep dive is to pull out the most important bits, the key facts, maybe some surprising things.
The nuggets. Yeah.
The nuggets, exactly, from these sources. We want to give you a really clear picture of what's actually happening in housing right now, why it's important.
Maybe what's around the corner.
And what could be coming next, absolutely.
Okay, let's jump straight to Las Vegas then, because the headline from that Redfin report, it really grabbed me.
What was that?
It suggested Vegas home prices could actually start dropping. Not now, but in the second half of 2025.
Oh, interesting. That's quite a prediction.
It feels like a potential turning point, doesn't it? And Asad Khan, he's a senior economist at Redfin.
Right, I saw his comment.
He basically said the local market there is getting hit by, well, a bunch of different things all at the same time.
And you can see that in the numbers. There are definite signs of weakness. Take pending sales, for instance.
Okay.
In May, they fell compared to last May. Redfin even called it a weak home buying season for Vegas.
Wow. Okay. How weak are we talking?
Well, nationally, Las Vegas was actually third worst for that drop. Pending sales were down 17.7% year over year.
17.7%? That's huge.
Yeah, only Fort Lauderdale and San Jose saw bigger drops.
So fewer people locking in deals. But here's the twist, right?
What's that?
Las Vegas apparently had the highest growth in active listings in May, among the top 50 U.S. metros.
Huh. So fewer sales closing, but more homes are actually hitting the market.
Exactly. It's a bit of a head-scratcher. But Khan's take is that it comes down to demand.
Okay.
He says demand in Vegas is just particularly weak right now. And the culprits are pretty familiar, I guess.
High mortgage rates.
Yep, high mortgage rates. He thinks they'll probably hover around 7% for the rest of the year.
Oof.
And high prices, of course. Those two things are just putting a lid on demand, even while the number of homes for sale keeps going up.
Right, and that brings in the seller side of things.
Yeah.
Because the report notes that most sellers in Vegas, they've got a lot of equity.
Built up during that crazy price run-up we saw.
Exactly. So they're not necessarily feeling desperate to sell quickly. Even if the market's cooling a bit, they can kind of afford to wait for their price.
Which explains why listings are up, but maybe prices aren't crashing down immediately.
Precisely. It adds to that inventory number without forcing immediate drastic price cuts.
Okay, but let's get specific on prices.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Realtors data for May, what did that show?
So the median price for a single-family home was $480,000. That was actually flat compared to April. And it's a little bit down from the all-time peak of $485,000 they hit earlier this year.
Ah, so a slight dip from the absolute top. But how does it compare year over year?
Still up. It's 1.5% higher than May of 2024.
Okay, so up year over year, but basically flat month to month and down from the peak. The climb is definitely slowing down then.
That's exactly what Khan observed. He called it a steady deceleration in prices.
Because demand is low.
Because demand is staying low, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks that price growth will keep slowing down.
Right.
His prediction is that the second half of 2025, that could be a really tough time for sellers.
As more houses pile up and demand stays weak?
Yeah, more inventory, slow demand.
Yep.
He expects we'll see more actual price drops then.
And Redfin's already calling Vegas a buyer's market now.
They are. And based on these trends, it sounds like buyers are only going to get more leverage, more negotiating power as time goes on.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture for Las Vegas. Very interesting. But how much of this is just Vegas, being Vegas?
Right, versus a sign of broader trends.
Exactly. How does this connect to what's happening across the whole country? Let's zoom out a bit.
Okay. Well, nationally, new listings, they are up from last year. About 2.5%.
Okay, so more homes coming online nationally, too.
Yes, but, and this is interesting, that 2.5% increase is actually the smallest rise we've seen in 5 months.
Oh! So the pace of new listings is slowing down nationally.
Seems like it. And get this. New listings are actually falling year over year in 20 of the 50 biggest metro areas.
Falling. Wow. So it's not a uniform picture of rising inventory everywhere.
Not at all. It really highlights this ongoing imbalance between supply and demand across the U.S.
Right.
The Redfin report put it pretty bluntly. There are still hundreds of thousands more home sellers than buyers nationwide.
Hundreds of thousands more sellers than buyers.
Yeah. But what's maybe more telling now is why fewer new listings might be appearing in some places. It's not just rates.
What else then?
Well, the report mentions some would-be sellers are just sitting on the sidelines. Maybe they locked in super low rates a couple of years ago.
The golden handcuffs.
Exactly. They don't want to give those up. It's like a kind of seller paralysis, maybe, because the market is tilting more towards buyers in many areas.
That makes sense. If you don't have to sell and the market feels less favorable, you might just wait it out.
Right. And this hesitation, this paralysis,
Yeah.
you see it reflected in the pending sales figures nationally, too.
Okay, what are those showing?
Nationally, pending sales fell 2.3% year over year, looking at the 4 weeks ending June 22nd.
2.3% drop. How does that compare?
That was the biggest drop in 3 months. So sales activity seems to be weakening again nationally.
And the reasons? Pretty much the same as Vegas.
Largely, yes.
Right.
The report highlights two main things nationally. First, just the sheer cost of housing.
Still sky high.
Yep. Sale prices nationally hit another record high, up 1.6% year over year.
Mm-hmm.
And mortgage rates are, still stuck near 7%.
Yeah. So affordability is still a major barrier. What's the second reason?
Economic uncertainty, just general worries about the economy, maybe recession jitters.
People feeling less secure about the future.
Exactly. So many potential buyers are just holding back. It's not just about affording the payment today. It's about feeling secure enough to make that huge long-term commitment.
Yeah, that psychological factor is huge in housing decisions. You need to feel confident.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder, how much does that general anxiety outweigh even small improvements in mortgage rates or prices?
Good question. So let's try and tie this all together. What we're seeing in Vegas. The falling pending sales, the rising listings, the weak demand, the slowing price growth.
It really does seem like a microcosm of the national picture, doesn't it? To maybe a bit more amplified there.
Yeah, perhaps a leading indicator in some ways. It's this mix of still high prices, those elevated mortgage rates we keep talking about.
And that layer of economic uncertainty.
Right, all hitting buyer demand hard. And that's what's causing prices to decelerate and shifting the power slowly but surely towards buyers.
It's clearly happening in Vegas, as Redfin pointed out. But those same forces are definitely at play across much of the country.
It's a market influx, no doubt about it, an adjustment period.
Definitely. Which leads us to sort of a final thought, something for you, the listener, to chew on.
Okay.
Given that so many sellers, especially in places like Las Vegas, are sitting on a ton of equity.
Right, they're not underwater.
Not at all.
Right.
So as the market keeps shifting and buyer power potentially increases, what kind of innovative strategies might we see emerge?
Beyond just sellers dropping their asking price.
Exactly. How else might sellers and buyers bridge that gap between seller expectations fueled by that equity and what buyers are willing or able to pay in this new environment?
That's a really interesting question. Things like rate buydowns, maybe. Or other creative concessions.
Could be. Or maybe something entirely new. It's definitely something to watch as the market keeps evolving. A fascinating puzzle for the future of real estate.